Florence Motor Speedway, a beautiful Carolina blue sky day. A lot warmer than last year here for the South Carolina 400. You're now like a veteran of this race, a three-timer.
Am I? I think we ran here last year. We run the icebreaker, and then we came back for that week Darlington to run, and we've had a lot of mixed results. But it's fun to be back. It's a great race. A lot of people here excited about it, and they've done a good job, putting the show together. So it should be a fun night.
So me and Rob have this fun, cute little thing that we're doing. It's the South Carolina 400, but there was the Myrtle Beach 400. So there's one side of the fence that says this is the fourth one. There's some people that say, no, this is the 30th one. Where do you sit?
Well, so I think it's the 30th one because I used to run in the 90s when the All-Pro guys would come, and we would run the late model show and then the All-Pro race. And, to me, it's just a continuation of that idea. And a lot of the same people, seeing a lot of familiar faces here at Florence that were back at Myrtle Beach in the 90s and even before. So it's awesome. And I'm glad that it's important. Steve and his family, Steve Zacharias, they're the ones that are responsible for the history of this event to continue. They wanted it to continue, and they wanted it to be an important deal. It's important to them, and you're starting to see the results of that.
So do you remember, 1996, you make that Busch Series debut, but a few months later, November, Myrtle Beach, that was your first Myrtle Beach 400, actual Myrtle Beach 400. Do you remember anything about that day?
Man.
You finished 23rd.
I did, okay. I remember a couple years going, I remember a couple different races there. One year I ran 10th, I think. I just remember racing Elliott Sadler all night. He came down from South Boston to race with us, and I remember seeing Mike Skinner we were in the sand in the backside of the racetrack parking. I got a lot of pictures from back then racing there. We had our Camaro there one year and had some good speed. The last year I ran, we had a brand new Lumina body, and was running like fifth or sixth, and the left front tire went flat and had to come down pit road. But I remember one time turning Dickie Boswell on the back straightaway coming off turn 2, and there's a big old wreck on the back straightaway. And Boswell's dad kept chopping me off in the middle of 1 and 2. And but anyways, it was it's funny how you remember some of the certain things that you did in that particular race. And we always, the South Carolina 400 has been going on for a long time in my eyes, but there was always it was always a big event, a way to finish the year. Everybody had run, if you're a regular at the racetrack like Florence, you've ran this season, your points and all of those things, all of that is over with. It's a great way to cap off a full year of racing, but also against new competitors that you haven't seen all year. That was the fun part for me when I race at the beach every week. That's got to be what's great for guys like Sammy Yarborough and the people that, Matt Cox and those guys that run here every week, to see all of these cars come to their house, right, and they get to race against them and measure up, and which they will. Sam's starting on the pole, and he'll be hard to beat tonight, and all the guys that, the regulars get a chance to, show how good they are.
You talk about this place right here. It's as unique as the day is long. The pavement is all wore out. We always talk about saving tires, but there's so much more going on that maybe the race fan doesn't know about, because there's a bunch of cars like maybe yourself or some of the Lee Pulliam cars that have like the 604 crates in them, the different motor combinations. So you might see a really strong car not qualify well. Can you explain that to the layman fan of it's not comers and goers based off of the tire strategy?
Yeah, you'll have some cars that'll run built motors. They got a lot more power. You'll have some cars that come here with a crate engine, and they're going to sacrifice speed on the short run. They're going to not qualify well. They'll get beat by roughly 10 to 15 cars. You can qualify great with a crate motor. I'm not saying you can't, but it's got to be really dialed in. What that motor is going to do for you is, you're hoping that around lap 100, you've got a lot better drive off. It just doesn't abuse the tires as much on the drive off of the corner and down the straightaway. You don't think you'd be hurting the tires on the straightaway, but you do. You know, you're driving those tires. They're trying to drive the car forward, and so the crate engine can take better care of the tires. The only problem is if the balance of the car goes off a little bit, I think, with the crate motor, now you're back to hustling just to keep up. So now you're not saving. Now you're not taking care of your tires. You're just trying your hardest just to try to stay in the fight. So there'll be a lot of people that I love the tire conservation races. I know some people have mixed opinions about them. I love it because it introduces a strategy, and you don't know who's riding. You don't know who's trying to save. You don't know when they've gone, when they're going to go, if they're running as hard as they can. And so as drivers out there, you're trying to posture and put yourself in a position where you think you need to be for the later restarts or that second 120. I'm going to look at it as 2 cars tour races, like 125 lapper, right? 2 features. You don't know really when you're out there around those cars how much they have left, and are they vulnerable, right? Or are they better off than you think in terms of, you know, what they have left in the tank? That to me is so fun and hard to figure out. And man, when you hit it right, when you've got something left, and you start driving through that field late in the race, man, it's awesome. You're everything's working the way you wanted it to, and man, when I come down here one time and I thought I was taking care of my car, and when it came time to go, there was nothing left, you know, and I couldn't do anything. I mean, I was like, you know, all right, we missed it today. I like that, you know. I like the challenge of trying to have to take care of the car. 250 laps, you're gonna have to take care of. You can't run as hard as you want because the brakes won't handle it. A lot of these motors probably aren't built for 250 laps of hammering, and so you're gonna have to really, not only just for the tire's sake, but for the car's sake, kind of be careful, you know, be easy and try to make sure you can just get to the end. I expect, you know, what we've seen here in the past, there'll be a good amount of attrition, just failures, right? Electrical and mechanical part failures and so forth that are going to take some people out. And so that'll be interesting. Just I'll be curious, I guess, you know, when we got 50 to go after 200 laps, how many out there, how many still out there who's done a good job of keeping their car in one piece.
All right, well, rest assured, we know we're going to see comers and goers all night long here at Florence, and rest assured at the end of the night, wherever this guy finishes, there's going to be some cold sun drop and some cold beer.